Ray, what's up? Let's review some of these trades that I took on Thursday, May 19th, 2022. Finished actually a red day, or a big red day, something that I haven't had in a while. So I finished the day down 122. Since I sized up, this is actually, a normal red day. It's in my range of being red. I have much bigger green days than this red day, so I'm not too worried about the size of the red day. However, I'm just a little bit disappointed about the trades that I did take, which usually is what happens that contributes to having a red day. That happens to everyone. Sometimes you're just, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're just not really thinking straight. You're not seeing this charts right. You're just not in tune with the market. You're not, you're too conservative or you're too aggressive, and that either gets you to, hesitate on moves that then which you FOMO into at a low quality setup, or makes you too aggressive, sizing in too much when you're not seeing that confirmation. And so when you're not in tune with the market, you tend to make those mistakes, and that's what contributes to having a red day. The trick is, though, just to minimize those as much as possible. You want to stick into the flow, stay into that state of flow as much as possible. What I like to do is just, meditate and, get into that mind state of, intense focus. And that's how, I'm able to have, a very long green streaks, here, a green streak here, have one red day, green streak, one red day, green streak. That's kind of just been the theme of just, having a nice stretch of green one day where I take a decent sized hit, maybe give back 1 or 2 days, and then I have a nice stretch of green one day where I give everything, not everything, but 1 or 2 days back. And then, it's just been the theme over the past couple months, past 2 months or so. And, I like that. My P&L curve is doing pretty good. So the most important thing for right now is to keep this as my only red day for another while, another stretch of green. I don't want to, have another day like this down $120, because then I would be really chipping into these days that I worked so hard to get green on. And it just never feels good to dig yourself a hole, because then now you're spending so much time getting back to where you were, and that's like the worst feeling ever. And I know how that feels because that happened to me, down here when I first started. I gave back everything. I took months to recover, and I just don't want to get into that. So, no reason to panic, but I just need to, today I got to trade with my caution lights on. Can't be getting too aggressive. The market hasn't been showing that I need to get aggressive, so I just need to, work, finish green, and get out. It is Friday, so I want to finish on a good note. Doesn't need to be a huge $200 day, but it also doesn't need to be another $100 red day or $120 red day. It can be, a small green day, and that's really all I need for today, just to get myself back on track. So let's go ahead and review these trades. INDP. Let's look at INDP here. This one, so I woke up kind of late because I need a little bit more sleep in the morning. So I woke up kind of late, and where aren't these showing up? Oh. Sometimes I have, for some reason, I have to change this to the 5 days. So I woke up kind of late, and it was like literally right after this breakout happened, and it was a really nice move from my potential entry to my exit. It's about 10% move. That really could have been the winner of the day, and I completely missed it. I woke up too late, and that put me in a state of, kind of revenge mode because, you know, I should be green right now. And so then I go ahead and I buy into the pullback. Actually, I buy on this candle looking for a continuation after 3-6. And you know what? You know, the past 2 weeks we haven't been having continuation, but I go for it anyways on 600 shares. This is over $2,000 position size. This is a hefty share size for me. And, you know, like it's been happening the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks, no continuation. I close this for a loss, go back and then buy the dip, and I get a bad entry, 51. I should have bought down here instead of up there. But I was looking for a move past 3-6 again, continuation that we don't usually get in this market. And again, close it for another loss. So that's 2 back-to-back losses. Now I'm feeling like right off the bat, as soon as I sit down, I'm already feeling, you know, behind the 8 ball. You know, I already have a loss here, and I should be green here. That's what I'm thinking in my head, and that really throws me off. It gets my emotions turning, and it just really set the tone for the rest of the day. And that really showed when other stocks popped up, and I just kept taking losses after losses. TNXP then popped up, and this was the one that really did me dirty. Look at this. This is a nasty. Look at that chart. This is the one that did me in. So here, you know, I saw it kind of curling up, and I didn't really think much of it. I kind of just took, you know, a couple scalps, a stab here for a small loss. And then it started going borderline parabolic. And I was like, wow, I was in here at 220. I should be up like, you know, $200 by now. And then it rips up on this candle. And this candle alone is 20%. But from down here, my initial entry is 30%. I'm like, holy crap, this thing is going to go bananas. The float is probably super small because of the recent reverse split. And wait, let's pull this back up. I lost it here. And I just FOMO'd into this so hard, like 400 shares, all the way up here at 270, 274. I start closing for a small win. At this point, I'm up like $20 on the whole stock here, between here and here. And then on this pullback, I buy the dip, pulls back even harder. I average down, big mistake, 800 shares here. Not, you know, about a $2,000 position size again, and it just didn't have the buying volume to get back up, you know, to 278, 280, 285. And I start closing for a loss. And then, you know, I add back another 800 shares for the VWAP bounce, pulls back more, add more. I bought 200 more, as in 1,000 shares here. So it's 2,500 position size. And I'm looking for it to reclaim for VWAP and a bounce back up to like 265, 270. Looking to, you know, at least get out, break even. At this point, I'm underwater, and, you know, I had no choice. I had absolutely no choice but to close my position. Down at, I closed it at 246. This is when it was holding below VWAP, but didn't have the volume, the buying volume come back up. And I had no choice. I had to respect my risk. If I would have kept holding this one, I could have, you know, doubled in my loss from there, another 10%. I could be down over $200, and I had to close it there. And that put me down actually on the day $180. So that did me in, and I was at that point, I had to accept that it was not going to be a green day. And surprisingly, I got over it pretty quick. I accepted it pretty quick. And that's definitely showing, you know, the experience that I've been having in the market. You know, the learning curve has been really showing itself, you know, with these red days. You know, I'm able to accept, you know, $180 red day and just kind of, you know, move on from it pretty quick. That's definitely a result of all the hard work I've been putting in the past 2 years, just to, you know, embody the fact that, you know, $120 red day or $180 red day, you know, I can make that back in 1 or 2 days, and just it doesn't shatter my confidence anymore, and that's so important. in the beginning, I didn't have any metrics or anything to base myself on, that I was a profitable trader, and any red day would destroy my confidence, would destroy everything. And I felt like I would just have to build back up at ground zero. And it really, messed with how I traded, my confidence, averaging into my winners, taking my profits too early, averaging down into losers, hoping, because I had nothing to base my strategy on. I didn't know if I was really profitable. But now, after 2 years of solid metrics, and I know that I have a strategy that works, and I know that I can be a profitable trader most days, a day like this isn't shattering my confidence, and I can get over it pretty quickly and, move on and to the next day, and treat it as, an independent day separate from, the results from the previous day. And that is so important. And that's just like something that I just realized that shifted, just getting over, losing trades or red days fairly quickly and not letting it impact my day, my week, my month, or my emotions. That's just super important to have. And you don't really get that until after quite some time in the market, and to know, that you're a profitable trader. But in a hot market, this would have held up a little bit better. So I don't really, condemn my actions here on this stock. I thought I gave it a good shot. If it did work out, my entries were pretty good here, and the pullbacks, there was no buyers on it. That was really it. I really should have maybe, could have been more conservative, but it's okay. If it would have worked out, I would have been super green. As long as I managed my risk, I didn't, blow up, a $300, $400 red day. So that's good. I only gave back, one average green day, and I can make it back fairly quickly. So from here, I just shifted to damage control and just tried to minimize my risk, minimize my loss on the day as much as possible. I accepted I was not going to have a green day. I knew I wasn't going to have a green day. I wasn't going to try to, swing for the fences to try to get green. I already accepted it. It's okay. It happens. I'm not going to, take all this risk to try to get back green. And so from here on out, I just, focused on taking small scalps on lower share size. My backstop was $200. So $200, I was already down $180. So $20 more of a red day, or whatever you could say, is going to put me at my hard stop on the day, and that's it. No more trading. That's it. I'm walking away at $200. But if I could get, my red day a little bit smaller, just by taking small scalps the rest of the day, because here, it was early. It was still 8:15. There's still a lot more opportunity left in the day. I didn't want to give that up because I'm near my max loss. So I just, shifted to damage control, sized down, focused on taking my profits quick, not looking for home runs. And I was able to minimize that risk from $180 to $122, and that's a lot more manageable than $180. So I'll definitely take that any day of the week, from versus $180 loss. But my hard backstop was a $200 loss. So at that point, I'd walk away. No ifs, ands, or buts, because that's going to take me more than one day to make back on average. So I think that was a good strategy that I implemented from, being down $180 on the day. And that's, a strategy that you guys could take if you're really down on the day and there's still, a lot more opportunity left in the market. You could always, give yourself a little bit more wiggle room to the downside, but then focused on taking small, quick scalps, high probability setups, and kind of minimizing that loss as much as possible. So TNXP, SIGA was the one that I actually did well on. I minimized my risk. So after TNXP, I traded SIGA on this pullback here, bought off 950 shares, very conservative, adding at 939 into continuation. taking my first lot for a 9-cent win from this position, and then my second portion for about almost a 30-cent win on 50 shares. That's really good. That's from these two trades, that's $40. I just recovered $40 loss. That's awesome. I could have been thinking, if I did bigger share size, I could be potentially green. But you know what? I can't think like that because I was already a little bit affected from that big red trade. And if this turned out to be another red trade, that really would have destroyed me. So I kept that small share size. I did not deserve to be, swinging for the fences here, even though, I could have had a big green day or a big green win here. It just wouldn't feel right, I would be disobeying my rules and my risks, so I have to respect that. In the long term, I have to respect that. So here, and then we had another pullback back to the 90 EMA. This is where I sized in again. Took this one off. I was a little bit too early, so I took this one off break even, but then I added at 275 for the break of this previous high at 980, and I was able to take a nice another 20 cents on 200 shares. That's bigger position size, and I was able to make back, a total of $60 back from, my max loss on the day, which was 180. And then here at the open on SIGA, I kind of went for a red to green here, and I didn't really get any traction behind it. I was looking for a breakthrough VWAP, so I took a lot of small green trades or break-even trades, nothing to really review. But I was looking for that red to green through VWAP. That never really came. Then we traded NURO was another one. Let's look at NURO. This is a former runner. We had a lot of action on this in the past, which I traded. From here, this daily chart is not very pretty. Lots of bag holders on it, and you can see, the share size that I took back, a year ago is just insanely small compared to what I'm trading now. And if we get another stock like this that does this type of move, 1,000%, the share size that I'm trading, I could definitely, have, over a $500 day with stocks that are moving like this. So I can't wait for that to happen. But, the chances of that happening again from right here are very low because, there's a lot of people who bought this stock on this day and they're still bag holding it. This is back when the market was still in like that short squeeze to the moon market where everything, GameStop went like 1,000,000%. And, I bet people were buying this at 20 or 30, thinking that this was going to go to 50 or 60. Like this was going to be like the next DWAC, but, it didn't turn out like that. And now they're bag holding and they're just trying to get out as much as, the lowest loss as possible. And, they're using this little pop as their exit. And so that's why you see, so much are selling on this stock. And, it didn't really go much. I didn't trade any of this, but, from here to there, it's 80%. That's really good. But, from here to there, it's like 50%. Still not bad, but, very choppy, very hard to trade. I did take a couple trades here on small size. On this pullback here, on the reclaiming the VWAP, I was looking for a bigger move here through the highs. Took a small scratch here, small win here, small loss there. Bunch of scratches here. I was really looking for it. This is an ABCD setup, kind of like a wedge here, looking for a breakthrough 461. That's what I was looking for, but it never really happened. So I was never really able to size up. Here we got a reclaim. This was a nice move here, but never really got that huge explosive move to the upside. I double topped here. I'm like, this is just very weak. Moves like this should continue all the way up to 5 or 550, but there's just so much overhead resistance that this can go anywhere. We even got a weak red to green here. This is usually a really good setup You know, a pullback at open, and then, you know, after a couple minutes, 10 minutes or so, a huge rip through the open price, and then like halting up into like a new high. But never really got that until way later in the day, which, you know, most traders are finished. Most morning traders at least are finished. Say maybe some of them are coming back. But, you know, this did give a good opportunity here. We got a halt up, opened higher, held the high for a little bit, kind of consolidated for an hour, and then had that next rip up. But, you know, there was definitely some opportunity on Thursday in the market, but you just had to be, for sure, you had to be very meticulous, methodical, and selective about the trades that you took, because it was just super choppy. There's a lot to get caught in. I definitely stepped on a landmine with TNXP, and that did me so dirty. You know, made me respect, you know, the market again. You know, usually after I have so many green days, I start to, you know, forget what it's like to have like a near max loss day. And, you know, I think this is actually could be a blessing in disguise. You know, could put me more, you know, conservative, which is where I need to be in a market like this. And I think in the long term, you know, this is definitely going to serve as a lesson going forward, you know, to always respect my risk and not to, you know, be averaging down into losers very aggressively without any confirmation, which is what I did here. So that's a lesson that I learned Thursday trading TNXP. So, but was able to, you know, minimize my loss as much as possible down to 122.35. Sorry, $122.35 in the red. So that was it. I'll see you guys on the next day trading recap. All right, peace.